So you introduced a model where you do some upfront payment and then a recurring fee, right? So I think I was looking at some stats, and for example, now I think in average, Kinsta it paid us maybe 3 times more than WP Engine per user.
Linux, welcome. Can you please share an intro about WPShout, your line of business, and your background and role in the WordPress community?
Hey, Florina. So nice to meet you. I started to build websites 14 years ago as a freelancer. Then I started to create my own websites. Having a website is not enough, as you might know. So I needed to figure out ways to bring people to my site. And to bring people to my site without money to spend on marketing, right? So it was a real need that drove me into marketing, into search engine optimization, into all sort of things, and trying to experiment with plenty of stuff how I can bring people to my own site, right? Then I try to apply those learnings on how I can bring people to our site, but also to other people's sites, right? And try to use different strategies for that. Okay, so WPShout, a bit of the story. It was launched also a very long time ago. It was always been like a development-focused website. This year, however, we decided to merge 2 of our projects. So we had Code in WP that we started. It was our first WordPress project. We started as a PSD to WordPress agency, and then we transformed it to a blog, educating people on WordPress hosting, on how to start a website and how to make a blog and stuff like that. And to simplify our properties, this year we decided to merge both of them. I'm co-founder of overall, so WPShout. It's part of owned by Vertigo Studio. We own also Themile. We own various other things in non-WordPress related areas. We are around 25 people. Oh, wow. It's a Romanian company, but we have people based around the world. And I co-founded it, I think now it's 13 years ago or so.
So you said you started with Code in WP. When did you decide you introduced Themile and other websites? When was the moment that we need another website?
Right. So I'm trying to see how we can be brief on that. So I started doing freelancing, so outsourcing. So then I thought we should have our own websites where we should get clients. So we started Code in WP. And then I thought, okay, how we can get more clients. So I thought maybe one way to get more clients is to have some free WordPress product to showcase our skills, right? So then we started to build a WordPress theme, a free theme that we had on Code in WP. From then, we acquired a theme shop, a small theme shop called Ready Themes. It was working well. And we thought, we are not very successful with WordPress projects. We were losing money after 3 years, always struggling. And we thought maybe the product is the way to go for us. And that's how we started Themile. So we experimented already with some free products on Code in WP, and we thought let's try to launch a product business that's and see how that would work.
A long journey to discover what works and what does not work.
Right, it's a continuous journey.
yeah, definitely. When was the moment you realized you could monetize your content? What was the reason you chose affiliate marketing in the first place? What drive you to affiliate marketing?
Right. So first, we started our content in order to boost our authority as an agency, right? So we thought by writing about WordPress, people will see we know what we are talking about. We will get traffic to the website. We'll build our authority in the community. So that was our initial goal. We never had a plan to do affiliate marketing. We never had a plan to it was not about that when we started the blog. But this worked well, and we had authority, we had trust. So we thought that maybe we can experiment with affiliate marketing. Why I chose this? Because I find it to be the less intrusive than ads, especially if you have Google Ads or different things, then you need to sort of the website will be kind of slow. You don't have control over what's going on the site. I didn't want it all the hassle to sell ad space, right? I didn't want it to sell sponsorships because we are very small team, and I try to keep things very simple. And for me, affiliate marketing was, on one hand, it was kind of the simplest approach, in a way that we sign up, we get the link, and we do what we want with that, like. So sometimes, of course, you have companies like Kinsta or like everyone, which, like they have affiliate managers, like you trying to get in contact and so on. But I don't feel that is mandatory to do that, right? So for me, it's like, I don't need to talk with anyone. I don't need to do anything. I don't need to have a dedicated person to manage all that. We get the link and we do our job. So that was an important thing. It was like kind of the easiest way to start and to maintain. And of course, it has a bad name, I think, affiliate marketing now, because, like oftentimes most of the people they will try to, like promote whatever and try to really don't care what they promote, try to make the most money out of it and so on. And for us, we thought that we can do this differently. We can do it in a way where it would not affect our content, right? So our content was stayed pretty much the same. So even Kinsta, for example, we started recommending Kinsta. It was really, like a lot of people didn't know about it, like, so it was not. Of course, we didn't say Kinsta is the most popular host, because it was not, right? But we would say that Kinsta, it has great performance, because we tested it and we had our site on it and so on. So yeah, we just worked very, very differently on this, and I think we did mistakes along the way, but generally worked well, quite well for us.
It shows through your success with affiliate marketing, like with our affiliate program, and your traffic and everything else with your website. So I think you did well there. Honestly, would you say that not accepting paid advertising or sponsored posts kind of helped you gain the readers' trust?
It's hard to measure it in real time, what are your trust with the readers, and we are trying to think about it, and what influence people and what not, and are we trusted or are we not trusted. I'm not sure. I think what I see that it influenced the opinion of people is, like sometimes it's weird. So we are doing this hosting related survey and research and so on, right? And after 10 years of work through our research, we have the data saying that, I don't know, GoDaddy or Hostinger are very popular companies. People just will hate on us and will don't trust us just because they don't like those companies, right? So sometimes it's not related. It's I think it's the trust. It's about how the content that you are putting there is matching people expectations. So if someone expects, like maybe you say like GoDaddy is not a great company, and you say that they trust you because they agree with your opinion, right? So it seems more of, like for a lot of people, it's about how much your content, like is matching their already, like conceptions. This is what I was, like surprised and frustrated to see, because it's not necessarily always about, how truthful you are with your recommendations, but it's also about how much those recommendations, like match everyone else biases, right? So you need to, I think you need to be aware of both things, right? Because you might be very truthful in everything that you are doing, but if there is some angle or some things that people don't agree with you, they might be very suspicious and not trust what you are doing.
Interesting take. Do you do this research every year, like this survey?
We try to do every year now, maybe every 2 years we are doing. I think there is existing public data, but we also try to collect some of our own data, like asking readers of our website or asking online. Lately, I think it's becoming so things change a lot. I think, in my opinion, in the past 10 years in the hosting and affiliate space, everyone is more aware of affiliate. So like 10 years ago, people wouldn't know or wouldn't think about like this is an affiliate link, or this website is making money from that. Like, of course, a lot of people were also misled into that, because you will have websites saying, like, okay, yeah, we make a little bit of money if you click on the link, while they will make not a little bit of money. So it was a lot of, like a bit misleading, and it was not a lot of awareness. today people are very much aware of this. They are on the opposite spectrum, where even if you don't have an affiliate link, or there are way more suspicious, right? Like, yeah, why this company is recommended? Like, why you guys recommend Kinsta? What you have to gain from that? There must be something. I mean, it's not, you are not recommending it because you believe it's a good opinion, good company, right? So people are more suspicious and critical, which I think it's good and it's important, but people seem to lose trust in web-based content compared to 10 years ago. So they would go on Reddit, or they would go on different sources, like thinking like there are user opinions, right? But at the end, the content is created the same. Behind those Reddit opinions can also be me and our writers saying the same thing that we are saying on the blog. So it's not like there is like God created those opinions on Reddit and they must be true, right? There are also people like our writers that created, and the same for content that we have on the site. But yeah, I would say that the trust and the suspiciousness and change a lot when it comes to this in the past years.
With affiliate marketing, you do get the freedom to do whatever you want with your links. So you're not pressured into, like writing, I don't know, as the company requests or as the paid advertiser requests. So I think that's important to not overtake that easily. So,
right. That's a big plus.
Yeah. How did you find about Kinsta's hosting, and about our affiliate program? And what do you like most about our affiliate program?
Right, so I think, I don't know, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm sure that first time I met Kinsta, I think there were only 4 people in WordCamp Europe in Bulgaria. I think I met Anita. I don't know how to pronounce. I was, like in the after party of the WordCamp Europe, so I think 10 years ago. I met her, I heard about the company. Always, like website speed was very important for me, for the user experience. Then Google was pushing it a lot. So I was always on the lookout on what are the fastest options for our own sites, right? And not only for our hosting research, but also for our own website. So I came across Kinsta, I tested it. So I took a copy of the site, I put it on Kinsta, and I testing how it performs, like versus, I think back then we used Pagely, which was also a very like very enterprise level hosting and so on, and there were some things about them. So I tested Kinsta, it was working very well, and I remember it was also more flexible in terms of we needed a reverse proxy setup for coding WP at that time, and Kinsta was open to that. Pagely was making it a bit more difficult to us. And this is how we discovered, again, that the performance, it was good, the user experience was great, and obviously we wanted also to be an affiliate, like for Kinsta, and to recommend it. So that's how I discovered the affiliate program. The affiliate program, when we started, and even now, I think was a bit more unusual, right? So I had some talks, and most of the hosting companies, they prefer to pay an upfront fee on how much they estimate they make in average for the users that you are sending them. And because of the competition, that upfront fee is quite generous. So people are paying, maybe a couple, more than a year or 2 years in revenue upfront, right? Because the lifetime value for hosting, it's very high. So maybe around, I don't know, 6-7 years, what I remember from Endurance reports. And they know, like, they can pay a big part of that upfront, and this is the usual model, right? However, for this you need to have the money, right? And Kinsta, when you guys started and you maintained that, also now even you grew a lot, was that I was talking with Tom, I think, or some people from your side, or no, it was Daniel Pataki, I think it was in responsible of that, and you didn't have the money to fund this upfront payment. I mean, paying like 1 year or whatever of revenue upfront for people. So you introduced a model where you do some upfront payment and then a recurring fee, right?
Yeah.
for me, I was happy. I understood. I mean, the reasons. I was not really interested in, like getting everything up front. I was just happy to promote the company in those conditions, right? I mean, to also recommend it, and I would again, I would have recommended either way because we were using it, right? But it was also, a kind of helpful for us to, do more efforts around this to also have this partnership. So for us was also interesting because we were not in a hurry. So we were trusting the solution and we were not in a hurry to kind of, get the sale up front. So if our users will send them to Kinsta and after 3 months, they will say, okay, this is bad, we quit, we would make very little money, right? But if the users would come to Kinsta and they will stay like for 7 years, we will generate even more revenue than all the other companies, right? So I think I was looking at some stats, and for example, now I think in average, Kinsta it paid us maybe 3 times more than WP Engine per user in commissions. So of course it was in a very long period of time, but it worked just so much better from this perspective. I mean, for us, and I hope also for you as well.
You have a substantial 4-figure monthly recurring income through Kinsta's affiliate program. What would your top 3 tips for other Kinsta affiliates is to achieve similar success?
So I would say, like, first is, especially today when again the trust in blogs decreased overall compared to 10 years ago. I don't think you should start from thinking how to can get those commissions, right? So I think it was also true for our case. We didn't start the blog or we didn't start the content to generate affiliate commissions, right? We started because we wanted to educate people. We wanted to create a brand for ourselves. So this is, I think, would be the first recommendation to try to focus, first and foremost on your readers or viewers or whatever you are doing, and being trustworthy, right? Second thing is to, as you will grow, I mean, if you will do this eventually, you will grow sooner or later. It will be, I think, very tempting to promote different things or to optimize different things, right? And it's very fine line and it's very difficult to manage. But yeah, you need to kind of be very careful. And I think once you lose the user's trust, it will be very difficult then to come back from that. And it will not show quickly, right? But it will show at some point. So I think, trying to also maintain that as your brand grows, your traffic and your affiliate income grows, trying to maintain that, it's also important. Then I think for me, which is a bit more, again, unusual, I think it's important also to what sort of companies you are partnering to. I mean, usually most of the affiliate programs have this term of, they can close the partnership at any point without any justification or something. I didn't read in depth the Kinsta one, but it's common that
it's definitely not happening at Kinsta. So at Kinsta you do get not banned, but like your account deleted if you do paid ads and you pay, like, you bid on our branding or impersonate your brand, and it's not immediately. It's like you get a notification and then, to stop the ads and everything. But if you do impersonate our brand and act as Kinsta, then of course,
right. But then companies, to protect themselves, they prefer to have this very broad mention in terms and conditions, right? And then, there are companies, and we had situations where they just changed their mind, right? So it's not the point now, but there is a big SEO company which they had a lifetime commission, but then next month they said all your recurring lifetime commission will be stopped from next month, right? Because they had investors pressure, their numbers were not looking fine, and they thought we will just stop paying for the clients that you've sent. So you need to kind of be careful of companies that you are working with, right? Because sometimes, the terms and conditions might be this or that, but But I think you need to be careful from this perspective, but also from, you associate yourself in a way with those companies. So for me, I was also in the hosting space very kind of suspicious and of companies that, even if they are big or popular, that maybe use some tactics that I would not like agree with in the past. So I'm very careful in associating like our brands with companies that don't have like a really perfect reputation, right? So
Like, how do you decide which partner is right for you and which partner is not right for you? Like, do you meet the founders perhaps, like at, I don't know, WordCamp, or
so I think there are multiple things. So one, it's the what's the user experience. So we are testing, like
okay,
once a company gets a little bit known, we are trying, especially for the ones that look interesting, we are trying to maybe move one of our websites there, or do different tests. So we are trying, how the company is, like how is their support, how is their performance, right? And if this is catching our attention, then also we are looking at what is the popularity of that company. Because if there is a company that no one knows about, no one heard about, like we can write about that on our sites, but like it needs to have some sort of like
traction? Yeah.
traction, right? So it's not, because a lot of people get frustrated, right? Why you are not covering my plugin? Why you are not covering my team? But because usually most of the people don't care about that. I mean, they don't want to hear about some random team, some random plugin. Ideally, you should have some sort of traction, right? To for us to be interested in covering and partnering with that company. And then, of course, I think everything that you are doing in the community. So it's not necessarily only about talking with the founder or not, but how you are communicating, like how you are marketing yourself, how you are, like dealing with your clients. Because I don't believe like, like kind of one company can be very bad with their clients, but would be very good with affiliates, right? So I think like your general attitude as a company towards your partners, towards your users, towards, everyone, it's kind of, like aligned. And so I'm trying to look on how you deal with everything that's happening, with like maybe there is some issue with I don't know, you get some trouble, and how you react to that. And so it's like about like
a lot of research involved.
yeah, I mean, I'm quite involved in the community. So like you said, WordCamps and reading, like social media and reading the blogs, and I'm noticing, right, what's going on. And this is one of the, let's say, things that we are using to decide who we would like to partner with, and who would like to maybe even put more effort into like seeing how we can help that company grow.
Interesting. And how do you decide on which topics or types of content pieces to focus on? Is it driven by affiliate conversion, or is it driven by traffic or traction?
We are trying different approaches. So we are looking also on like what are, of course, we are looking also from an affiliate perspective, what are terms or things that are worthy, like that can generate us affiliate commission and can fund our work, right? So we look at that as well. And like there are those terms like, I don't know, some hosting alternative, or Kinsta versus some competitor, or etc. Some niche terms that are very like interesting for people, or reviews and so on. So we do that.
What pieces of content do you think they've been most effective in driving affiliate sales for you? Like, would you say they're reviews or comparison or performance tests?
So I think, of course, ideally, we at the beginning we try to focus, most of our effort on, like the kind of the main keyword, which is best WordPress hosting, and how we can, like try to really have best resource around that. Over time, we try to also look into specific, more niche down keywords, like I was mentioning, like reviews and versus comparisons and so on, and niche down to manage WordPress hosting. Nowadays, where I find it, like I think best WordPress hosting, for example, it's very generic, and you now have a lot of big companies like Forbes and etc., which have a really huge brand that are also trying to address those keywords. And becoming more complicated. So I think what you can do now is try to look into phrases where you can make a difference. So for example, what worked for us recently was we did a piece on fastest WordPress hosting with a lot of research. So there, you can differentiate yourself with your content easier. Like right on best WordPress hosting, you can say maybe the not very different things, and then it will be down to trust, for people to trust more Forbes than WPShout. But if you do like really in-depth piece on a very specific, like I don't know what's the fastest, what hosting has the fastest CDN, and you do your tests and checks and so on, Forbes won't do that, and no big brand will do that, and you have an option to differentiate yourself if you go after some
more niche,
where you can make also a difference, right? So for example, what WordPress hosting seems to work best in Spain, right? Try to look into that. So
and what strategies do you use to promote your content? I know you have an amazing newsletter that I'm following. I'm subscribed. Which are the most effective specifically to your affiliate marketing efforts, like social media perhaps, or through newsletter? Or
we had a period where we haven't done a lot, right? We had a newsletter, and then we have an integration, also a deep integration between WPShout and Themile. So our people that get our products or use our products, they are exposed to our content as well through different ways. So there is an integration with that. So we have some things in place where we make sure like any piece of content gets some visibility. And I think that's important. If you are at the beginning and you cannot get that, what we did for other projects that we launch is we try to do some small paid ads for every content, right? Because you don't know exactly how people will react to that, or search engines. So you do need some traction to them, right? You cannot write something or do something and then you have 0 visitors. So in a way or another, we are trying to make sure like everything we publish has 50 visitors at least or something to get the initial traction. Then of course, if there is some good feedback on that, it will grow. But we are trying to make sure that there is some initial stuff. So nowadays we are trying also to, as Google now started to emphasize a lot more in this type of forums, type of content and so on, we are trying to be more visible in a lot of places. So we are experimenting with syndicating our content on LinkedIn. We are experimenting with being more involved with Reddit in like engaging with users there, like not only sharing our content, but asking opinions and doing research there. So we are trying to gather data from what people are saying there, and then creating some content and then sharing it back, the research, to the community. Facebook group. So we have a Facebook group as well on WPShout that it's quite popular. So I don't think it's enough nowadays to just write your content and then people will come from Google. You need to somehow involve the community, involve those people hanging out in Facebook groups, in Reddit, in different places. We are not doing a lot of video, but this was a big shift in the past 10 years, right? So people are trusting way more now the influencers or people creating video content than maybe written content, and this was a big change.
And in your opinion, what is the most important skill for a content creator to become successful with affiliate marketing? Just one skill that you say it's critical.
I would say I don't know how to call it as a skill. I think it's not a skill but a process. For us, it was a skill to understand what would be interesting to people to read. So we didn't have the process, but we had let's say a feeling, right? So I would know that if we covered this subject with that angle, I would know that people would pick this up, they would like it, they will talk about it, right? So it's having this sense of like, I got this sense because I'm following a lot of content and I'm seeing how people are reacting to different articles around the web. So I'm seeing different patterns. I'm seeing like, okay, those subjects people seems to pick up and so on. So I think that's for me, that's a very important, of course, besides the fact, right, I mean, you need to write good content and so on, but I think that's a bit more unusual thing that I consider that is one of the differentiators for us. And just second thing, again, from a all broker perspective, and is connected to the first one, is that we try to work with the best writers in the independent writers in the community. I think Kinsta was following the same approach. You hired like amazing blog content managers and writers. So I think that's it's not a skill, but it's just a small.
Yeah, I'm guessing that would require resources, so it would come later on after you get some traction to your blog or content. And you have a bit of before.
Not really. For us, we started from the very beginning, but we were just doing very little. So we didn't have the money. But what we would do at the beginning, it will be like we will publish just 2 articles per month, but the best articles we can, right? Oh. Thinking about what would be the most interesting topic. So we could not afford to do more than 2 articles per month. But it was a big learning from me at the beginning that, okay, I could, for the same money, we could have gotten, like 10 articles per month. But it's a huge difference. Again, we're talking about trust, having someone that is known in the community, having someone that has the ability to create an interesting content. I think it's even now it's even more difficult, but even then it was that, like, for me, it's, like one article that, like kind of picked, that managed to lift a bit the trust in your brand is worth more than 100 articles that are read by people, but they are kind of average, right? So yeah, so if I would not have the resources, I would do just a lot less, but I will try to make sure that, like, again, if I do 1 article per month, that article will lift our brand perception by a little bit.
Okay, so focus on quality.
Right.
So what holds the future for WPShout and Ionuț Neagu?
So for WPShout, we've been trying to. So in terms of our content, we've been trying to change things a bit. We have now an initiative called, interesting content. So we are trying to invest a lot more time than before in ideation and trying to copy interesting ideas that surface around the web, not only in the WordPress space, but can be in other industries, and try to see if that can work in the WordPress space, right? So we invest a lot more time in ideation, and we are trying to see how we can come up with interesting takes, right? Because it's now, especially with this whole AI, we think, like there is no point to even spend any time writing average content, so we are not doing it at all. Eventually, I think the AI tools will get, like really good to just generate that content. So we are not even thinking about that. So we are trying to work on this aspect on WPShout, and hopefully you'll see it live in the next month. We created a job section. So we are trying to transform it in a resource that is more than, like a site that you will Google for something and you will find it out, but to a place where you constantly go for interesting things and like, again, be it jobs and be it different opportunities, be it to engage with people, be it to read something unusual that you haven't read somewhere else. So this is a bit what we are focusing on, and the vision for the.
Is it going to be a hub, a community for WordPress?
Right. It will be very focused on WordPress, and not only WordPress, but it will be focused on technical savvy people.
Okay. Interesting. Very cool. I'm pleased to hear that. Well, Ionuț, thank you so much. This was a pleasure meeting you finally after so many years, and to find a bit more of your process and how you're like producing affiliate marketing content and how you promote Kinsta. It was super helpful for me, and I'm sure for the listeners as well.
Thank you very much. I hope it was useful. So you can find me on Twitter. I think there will be some links there if you have any questions or things like maybe that I can be helpful. again, I'm happy to continue working with Kinsta on this, and yeah, very happy for the interview and for meeting you.
Thank you.